I love it. I love it. I love it. Look at this. This is the greatest thing I've ever seen.
Hey, I'm not surprised.
Hey, what's poppin', my homies? Hope you're doing well, feeling blessed, having a good day, having a good week. This UFC breakdown is going to be Derrick Lewis taking on Rodrigo Nascimento. Before we get into making predictions and the breakdowns, we look at my bets from last week, which didn't go too great, in all fairness. If Vitor Petrino wins and doesn't completely choke or get choked by Anthony Smith, then it's looking a little better, but ultimately not the best for Brazil. For this UFC card, Rodrigo taking on Derrick Lewis, there's not a whole lot that I really like, but I'll probably still end up with 5 or 6 bets. So let's go. Before we get into the breakdowns, we visit MoneyCity. If you see your name on the screen, you already know, that's money, pure money. Let's do it again. Let's go. Now moving into the first matchup on the card, we've got JJ Aldrich taking on Veronica Hardy. And guys, in my opinion, the prediction has to be Veronica Hardy, right? The speed, the footwork, the kicks of Veronica, they're going to cause problems for JJ Aldrich. And JJ Aldrich, you know, she's okay. I picked her to beat Montana De La Rosa and Na Liang. So yeah, JJ Aldrich, she's okay, but in my opinion, she's like plodding with her footwork. Whereas Veronica Hardy, you can't really get a beat on her because her feet are always moving. She's really quick, very fast. And then you add in the kicks, you know. So Veronica, in my opinion, that's the pick, that's the play. Now moving into a matchup between Jared Gooden taking on Kevin Jousset. And guys, in my opinion, this is like chess versus checkers, right? Jared Gooden's the one playing checkers and Kevin Jousset's the one playing chess. And what I mean by that is when you look at the striking of Jared Gooden and then compare that to the striking of Kevin Jousset is not just trying to find the one-hitter quitter. And that's what Jared Gooden's trying to do. You know, he's trying to knock your chin out of the sky. And that's, you know, potentially going to happen here against Kevin Jousset. Because Kevin Jousset, the chin is in the sky and he doesn't really react to the punches too well. However, is Jared Gooden going to be the one to expose that in the game of Kevin Jousset? Because Kevin Jousset offensively, he's very good. He trains out of City Kickboxing, so he's training with guys like Israel Adesanya, Dan Hooker, Carlos Ulberg. You know, he's looking to use that striking. Just defensively, he's not the best. But is Jared Gooden going to be someone to really expose the defensive mistakes that Kevin Jousset is making? In my opinion, probably not. So give me Kevin Jousset to essentially dust Jared Gooden. Now moving into a matchup between Jake Hadley taking on Charles Johnson. And guys, this one's a difficult prediction to make. When you're looking at Jake Hadley, you're looking at a southpaw boxer. His boxing's very decent, right? The southpaw boxing. And most people will say, you know, English people, their grappling's not good, their wrestling's not good. And that's pretty true, right? In England, we mainly box. So you're looking at the southpaw boxing of Jake Hadley. But guys, in all fairness, the grappling of Jake Hadley, it is pretty good. His jiu-jitsu is pretty good. If you take him to the mat, he's looking for omoplata sweeps. He's looking for arm bars. He's looking to sweep and show you that, you know, I'm not just a boxer. I'm a grappler too. I'm a well-rounded mixed martial artist. Now guys, in my opinion, Charles Johnson, very hit or miss. Like super hit or miss. His Muay Thai is good. His wrestling's good. His cardio is good. He's got the skills. He's got the tool set to beat Jake Hadley. But in my opinion, it depends what Charles Johnson shows up. Like, you're looking at his performance against Azza Maxim. You know, he won that fight, but he got knocked down in round 1. Then you're looking at his performances against Cody Durden and also Rafael Esteban. Ragdolled in those fights. But Jake Hadley's not going to attempt to do that. Jake Hadley wants to box on the feet. So you're going to see Charles Johnson get the fight he wants. You know, he wants to stand and trade. But his boxing's probably not as good as Jake Hadley's. You know, not as quick. So yeah, this matchup should be a stand-up fight, a striking matchup. But give me the younger fighter. Give me Jake Hadley. Now moving into a matchup between Trey Waters taking on Billy Goff. And guys, when you're looking at the physicality in this matchup, you've got Trey Waters standing at 6'5" with a 77-inch reach. And Billy Goff is 5'10" with a 72-inch reach. So the physicality, the build, it's all on the side of Trey Waters. And what that means is it's going to be easier for Trey Waters to find his shots, to find his boxing, to find the target than what it is going to be for Billy Goff. So what Billy Goff has to do is be all the way in or all the way out. And what that means is if you're not striking, if you're not finding the target, we don't want Trey Waters to essentially be able to find the target himself. So you're going to be out of range if you're not landing your own strikes. But if you're landing your own strikes, you've got to be on the inside. You know, you've got to get past the reach of Trey Waters. Get on the inside to land some nasty body shots, potentially get the fight to the mat. And that's how you're going to beat Trey Waters. You know, you're looking to overcome the physical advantages that Trey Waters has. And against, who was it? Josh Quinlan. You know, Trey Waters looked good. The counters. You know, he was just letting Josh Quinlan run into the counters all night. The jab, the 1-2. Standard boxing combinations for Trey Waters. But his physical advantages, that's really why I won the fight. Now, Billy Goff really is a dog. You know, he'll get dropped, he'll stay in the fight, he'll work his way back into the fight. He's really a dog, and it's a difficult prediction to make. But in my opinion, give me the underdog. Give me Billy Goff. Now, moving into a matchup between Tabatha Ricci taking on Tecia Pennington, formerly known as Tecia Torres. Now, guys, in my opinion, or in everyone's opinion, it should be, this is new guard versus old guard. The new generation of fighter, the new guard, is Tabatha Ricci, Baby Shark. And she's going to be taking on the older generation of fighter, the veteran Tecia Pennington. Right? Now, Tecia took 2 years off. You know, she's had a kid. She's had the pregnancy. And as you've seen recently, Jermaine Durandame, you know, she came back, had a kid, looked dusty. And you also see the same with, what's her name? Raging Panda, Julia Vila, you know, took some time off, came back, had a kid, looked dusty. You've also got Nina Nunes, who used to be called Nina Anzarov. She had some time off, had a kid, came back with the new name Nina Nunes, and then she got wrapped up by Mackenzie Dern, right? So what I'm showing you here is when the woman takes time off from mixed martial arts, decides to have a kid, have a family, when she comes back, she looks dusty. You know, that's what I'm showing you here with all these evidences, these references. But here's the thing, guys. Returning to fight someone like Tabatha Ricci after 2 years off, with the pregnancy, having the kid, returning against someone like this, it's not going to be good. You know, the judo of Tabatha Ricci, the jiu-jitsu, she's world class. Like, really, really good. So in my opinion, Tabatha Ricci is going to dust up Tecia Pennington, whether it be on the mat or on the feet. Maybe not on the feet. Maybe on the feet, you know, the striking looks 50-50. But as soon as Tabatha Ricci clinches up with Tecia, that's really where she's going to get thrown through the air onto the mat. And once she goes to the mat, that's where Baby Shark does her thing. So yeah, give me Tabatha Ricci to dust up the veteran Tecia Torres, Tecia Pennington. Now moving into a matchup between Terrance McKinney taking on Esteban Ribovics. And guys, I've got a really, really good record on predicting Terrance McKinney matchups, right? Let me just give you my record. I picked against him when he fought Drew Dober. Nearly won that matchup, but he got dusted. Picked him to beat Eric Gonzalez. He beat Eric Gonzalez. Picked against him when he fought Ismail Bonfim and Nazim Sadikov. He lost both those fights. And then I've picked him in his most recent fights against Mike Breeden and Brendan Marotte. So my record on picking Terrance McKinney is pretty good. However, it's still pretty difficult to pick against Terrance McKinney. And it's also difficult to pick Terrance McKinney to win a matchup. And what I mean by that is, when you pick against Terrance McKinney, let's say you're betting against him, you've still got to put up with round one. You've still got to put up with the aggression, the first 5 minutes of Terrance McKinney. You know, in round one, he's just extremely aggressive. And if he doesn't get the stoppage in round one, then you're going to win your bet. You probably win the bet, right? Because Terrance McKinney's cardio, it turns to dust. And when he doesn't get that first round one stoppage, he actually has to fight. And he doesn't really like to fight. You know, Terrance McKinney wants to go in there and just kind of bulldoze the opponent. Whereas Esteban Ribovics, this guy likes to fight. He's been in a fight, right, where it's not going his way and he's still in the fight. You don't really see that from Terrance McKinney. And in my opinion, guys, the definition of fighter or fighting is to have the ability to overcome adversity, right? Because it's not really a fight unless you've got to overcome something in the fight. And you don't really see that in the game of Terrance McKinney. What you see in the game of Terrance McKinney is a guy that's going in there and stopping the opponent before there's any adversity, right? So in my opinion, in my definition of a fighter, Terrance McKinney is not a fighter, in my opinion. Esteban Ribovics is. But here's the thing. Terrance is still dangerous. Round one is still dangerous. And there's also a chance that even if Terrance McKinney doesn't get a stoppage in round one, he may show us, look, I'm going to evolve. I'm going to get better. I'm not only going to be someone that, has to stop the opponent in round 1. I'm going to evolve. I'm going to improve. And that's kind of what you expect from all these fighters on a fight-to-fight basis, right? Especially people like Terrance McKinney, right? Who's losing the same way, doesn't get around 1 stoppage, turns to dust. Will he continue to lose that way? We're going to see this weekend. Guys, in my opinion, I'm going to give Terrance McKinney the benefit of the doubt. I think he could beat Esteban Ribovics early. And if he doesn't beat him early, maybe he banks 2 rounds. Maybe he shows us, he's not the same Terrance McKinney. Doesn't get around 1 stoppage. But can he continue to fight? Can he compete outside of round 1? Maybe he does this time. Maybe. Give me Terrance McKinney. Now moving into a matchup between Chase Hooper taking on Slava Borshchev. And guys, here's the thing. Chase Hooper's defense, his striking defense, is literally some of the worst defense you'll ever see, right? But his grappling, his jiu-jitsu, is arguably some of the best jiu-jitsu you're going to see. So what Chase Hooper is, he's a jiu-jitsu player. He's not really a mixed martial artist. He's a jiu-jitsu guy. He's kind of similar to Paul Craig. He's not going to be wrestling. He's going to be pulling guard. He's not going to be boxing. He's going to be getting hit. He's not going to be doing anything other than what he's really special at, and that's jiu-jitsu. Now, Slava is a really, really good striker. His striking's very good. However, he's also kind of one-dimensional. He's not going to be grappling to win fights. He's not going to be pushing the opponent against the fence, wearing him down. He's just going to be kickboxing, and his kickboxing is extremely good. So this matchup, guys, in my opinion, and it should be in everyone's opinion, right? At all times in this fight, it's going to be a mismatch. Because let's say we're on the feet. If we're on the feet, Chase Hooper's liable to get dusted. If we go to the mat, then Slava's liable to get dusted. At all times in this fight, someone's going to be getting essentially dusted. So it's a mismatch at all times. That's a volatile fight. That's a real scrap. And guys, my prediction, I'm not proud of. Give me Chase Hooper to find a sub. Now moving into a matchup between Waldo Cortes-Acosta taking on Rebellis Despaigne. And guys, here's the thing. Looking at Rebellis Despaigne, this guy's a monster, right? He's a monster. But he hasn't fought past round 1. He's not even fought past like a minute. So past round 1 or past a minute or 2, we don't really know too much about Rebellis Despaigne. Is he going to fold? What's his cardio like? What does it look like when Despaigne's actually in a fight? Where he's getting hit? We don't know, right? But here's the thing. Looking at Waldo Cortes-Acosta, he fights at a really slow pace. Like a really slow pace. So much so that he'll even have time to do a salsa dance. So he's not super aggressive. So in a way, it's kind of a smart idea to give Waldo Cortes-Acosta to Despaigne. Because let's say that Despaigne does leave round 1. He's not going to be leaving round 1 against somebody that's going to, shoot takedowns, put him on his back. He's not leaving round 1 against somebody that's super aggressive, who's going to walk forward and really put it on Despaigne when he's tired. He's fighting against the salsa boy. And the salsa boy's not aggressive. His boxing's okay, his calf kick's okay. His calf kick defense is terrible. And also Cortes-Acosta, his grappling's not good. So in my opinion, this is a smart matchup. It's a smart matchup for Despaigne. If he leaves round 1, he's not leaving round 1 against somebody that's super aggressive, super dangerous. So give me Rebellis Despaigne to find a stoppage. Maybe past the first minute or past the second minute. But ultimately, I think he stops Cortes-Acosta, salsa boy. And maybe he's not going to be doing that dance this time round. Now moving into the next matchup, we've got Alex Caceres taking on Sean Woodson. And guys, Sean Woodson, he's got the broomstick build for featherweight. And it kind of makes him overpowered. He's got the broomstick build and his boxing's very good. So if he was to box with Alex Caceres, he would do really well. But Alex Caceres, he's got the grappling advantage, the jiu-jitsu advantage. So look for him to take the back of Sean Woodson. And Sean Woodson has been submitted before, right, against Julian Erosa in the final round. So look for Caceres to really rely on his experience, the way that Anthony Smith did recently in Brazil. But guys, here's the thing. Sean Woodson's takedown defense is really good. So for Caceres to get the back or to get the fight to the mat, it's not going to be easy. He's going to have to really rely on his experience to get the grappling going. So in my opinion, this matchup stays on the feet and Sean Woodson's boxing is too good. Caceres, he is a good kicker. his kicks are very good. But Sean Woodson, with the broomstick build, he's OP. Give me Sean Woodson. Now moving into a matchup between Diego Ferreira taking on Mateusz Rebecki. I believe is the pronunciation, but I might have butchered it. Now guys, here's the thing. Diego Ferreira is nearly 40 years old. His jiu-jitsu is very decent. And he did send Michael Johnson to the King of Shadow City, Ben Askren, right? He dusted him. But in my opinion, Rebecki or Rebecki, whatever the pronunciation is, this guy's a monster. This guy's grappling, his aggression, his takedowns, you know, on the feet. He's throwing 100% power, you know, really looking to cause damage. The guy's a tank. Now guys, in my opinion, if this matchup happened like 5 years ago, then I'd probably pick Diego Ferreira, right? But the fact he's 40 years old or nearly 40 and he's had time off, you know, not really active. In my opinion, you've got to go with who's in form, and that's Rebecki. So give me Mateusz Rebecki to dust up Diego Ferreira. Now moving into a matchup between Alonzo Menifield taking on Carlos Ulberg. And guys, Alonzo Menifield, in my opinion, is quite basic and kind of reckless. But in all fairness, you look at him most recently against Jimmy Crute, right? He was really finding the jab against Jimmy Crute. So it's kind of fair to say that Alonzo Menifield has improved, right? Finding the jab, that's one of the best weapons you can find on the feet. But some people might say, well, that's Jimmy Crute. You know, you're going to find the jab against Jimmy Crute. Can you find it against Carlos Ulberg? And Carlos Ulberg, similar to Kevin Jousset, is fighting out of City Kickboxing. So his striking is very good. It's very technical. And he wants to play the chess match. Guys fighting out of City Kickboxing, they're looking to play chess. Unless you're Dan Hooker, at times you're gonna go crazy, play checkers. Carlos Ulberg's not looking to do that. His Muay Thai is very good, his kicks are good, his management of range is very decent. And he's also learnt from that UFC debut, where he used a lot of energy in round 1 and then ends up getting dusted by Kennedy Nzechukwu, right? So you can't really do that against Alonzo Menifield. You know, look to control the fight. And controlling the fight means Alonzo Menifield's not going to be landing those big calf kicks or big overhands, big hooks. Because if Alonzo lands those weapons, then he may stop the fight. So yeah, in my opinion, this is a good matchup. But give me Carlos Ulberg, give me Black Jag to control the matchup on the feet. Now moving into the co-main event, we've got Joaquin Buckley taking on the Sultan Ruziboev. And guys, does this go 15 minutes? No, it does not. No, it does not. So in my opinion, making a prediction on this matchup, you're picking who's finding the stoppage. Who's doing that? Guys, in my opinion, it could be Buckley, it could be Ruziboev. It could be either. But if you put the gun to the head, you know, COD 4, AK-47, red dot with the red tiger. If you know about that, then you know what's up. But if you're someone that's, you know, Gen Z, then you don't know about that. You don't know how good COD 4 was. You don't know. But it was so good. Activision. You know, 07, 08, it was so good. Nothing like Fortnite, nothing like that. If you know, you know. But yeah, guys, in my opinion, give me Ruziboev. I think Buckley, you know, he's so quick, so aggressive, so much power in the punches, right? But Ruziboev might find the mark. This one's 50-50. You know, this one's difficult, so give me the underdog. Give me Ruziboev. Moving into the main event, we've got Derrick Lewis taking on Rodrigo Nascimento. And guys, Derrick Lewis, the same thing every time, every breakdown, right? The cardio's dusty, the agility's dusty, the output. He's not looking for the jab. He's not looking to wrestle. He's looking to do one thing and one thing only, and that's send you to the King of Shadow City, Ben Askren. He's looking to completely dust you. So yeah, Derrick Lewis is one-dimensional, but he's still got a lot of knockouts. You know, I believe the most knockouts in heavyweight. So yeah, Derrick Lewis, the same thing every time. The cardio's dusty, everything's dusty, but the one-hitter quitter, those big punches in bunches, it might end the fight. Now guys, Rodrigo Nascimento, his cardio is better than Derrick Lewis, right? His grappling is also better, but I still think Derrick Lewis would dust Rodrigo. This is the type of fighter that Derrick Lewis doesn't lose against, in my opinion. Now guys, if Rodrigo Nascimento proves me wrong by surviving round 1, essentially that's how you're going to beat Derrick Lewis. You know, you survive round 1, then you start to take over, get him to the mat, make him tired, right? Derrick Lewis ain't doing no high endurance training Monday to Friday. He's doing that Popeye's chicken Monday to Friday. But the Popeye's chicken, it gives him power. It gives him big power. And I think he's going to dust Rodrigo Nascimento. Give me Derrick Lewis. As always, guys, drop down your main event, your co-main event, your parlays, your straight bets, your Money City bets, all that good stuff. Drop in the comment section below. And as always, keep your eyes to the sky and never glued to your shoes. Peace.